Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the TEAS test. Now, if you have been watching my channel, you know that I have posted a TEAS video before, and I will put it right up in this iCard here and put it in the description down below. In that video, I went through the whole test and talked about basically how I studied and how I prepared myself and how I scored the way that I did. But in that video, I did not reveal any of my scores because I hadn't been accepted to my nursing program yet and I didn't want that on the internet. But in this video, I'm going to go ahead and reveal my scores and talk about a few other things that I didn't talk about in that video. So if you're looking for a video on what kind of resources I used, you can check that video out and also check out the resources that I link down below. It's going to be the exact same resources that I linked in that video. And I'm also going to be talking about a few additional topics like test questions when you're actually going to take the test and how that whole experience worked out for me. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in this video is creating a study plan. So a lot of the comments on my last video were about how I studied, how long I studied, and I know that ATI recommends studying for your TEAS for 6 weeks. However, I personally studied for about 2 months-ish, a little bit more than 2 months before my TEAS test. And I wasn't like studying every day. I wasn't like going crazy for like 5 hours a day or binging or anything like that. Basically what I did was around mid-November, I started my studying by just getting a book. And I got the book that I linked down below, so you guys can check out that book or check out another book if something else works better for you. But basically I started reading the book, like first page, and started right from cover to cover. And I just read a few pages a day and tried to see what I can gather. Basically just get an idea of what I need to know, because sometimes you don't even know what you're getting yourself into when you start studying for these tests. So just seeing what kind of questions they're going to ask and what kind of topics I need to refresh my memory on was really important. And in that study plan, once I kind of figured out what kind of questions I'm going to be asked and things I need to prioritize, I broke it down by section. So I would spend about 2 weeks studying a specific section and then the next 2 weeks doing the next one. And if it was a smaller section like math, I knew how to do math. I'm very familiar with math. I'm currently in college, so I didn't have to refresh myself on math. So I spent like 3 days on it and I kept getting them all right. And so I moved on to the next section. I just did the math practice questions, knew them, and moved on. So that is how I kind of started getting in-depth studying. And then after I got a better idea of where I'm needing to fill in holes, that is when I started spending a day at a time on each section. So about a month or 3 weeks before my exam, I would go to the library, and this is when I started studying for about 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, and I would prioritize one topic. So in my experience particularly, I knew I needed to refresh a lot of the science stuff because I hadn't taken biology in a couple years and chemistry in a couple years, and I wanted to refresh all of those. So all of the resources that I used for those are also linked down below, but for the most part I was going through a crash course. I was doing practice questions that were in that book, and also just Googling free practice questions, ATI TEAS science, or free practice whatever, ATI TEAS reading, and just doing those practice tests, and those helped me so much. There are a lot of free resources out there. You definitely want to take advantage of those. Also YouTube, you're watching this video for free right now. Go ahead and subscribe too, because maybe I can get something out of this video. You're watching this video for free right now. There's a lot of people who are posting videos that can help you. There's a lot of people who post tutoring videos, which are also linked down below. So utilize YouTube. It is going to be a great resource for you, and you don't need to spend a bunch of money to prepare for this exam. Some questions that I got about when you're actually taking the exam. So somebody asked if you can go back and forth. So like when you're taking the test, if you're going section by section, you have to start off in that order. So you can't like be in the math section and decide to go back to the reading section. You have to take each section at a time. But with that being said, the questions within the section, you can go back and forth. So if you are on question 40 and you weren't sure about question 3 and you finish, you can go back and do question 3. You just can't leave the section. The other question was, do you get your scores immediately? And yes, you do get your scores immediately. It's actually right after you take the test. It'll pull up a loading screen and then pull up your scores with the breakdown. So it'll tell you your overall score in the top, and then it'll tell you each section and your score on that, and it'll also compare you to the national average or the institution average. So it gives you the full breakdown, and that is going to be the score report that you turn in when you apply for nursing school. Another question I got was about the time. So you can actually skip section times if you're finished with that section early, but you still can't go back and take the old section. So if you had like 10 minutes left in a section and you're ready to move on, then you can go ahead and move on, but you don't get to use those extra 10 minutes on another section or anything like that. Somebody asked for advice about their clothing. You have to wear clothes that don't have any words on them. I know some people wore Crocs and they had to take their gibbets out of their Crocs because there were letters on the gibbets. So I just recommend wearing like a solid shirt. I wore a solid maroon sweatshirt with pink leggings and my tennis shoes, and I didn't have any words, anything, pictures, nothing like that, just solid. That's what I recommend doing because testing centers will be very strict about what you're wearing. Someone asked if they can take it more than once, and yes, you can take it more than once. If you're gonna pay for it, they're gonna let you take it, but you do want to make sure that your institution that you're applying for is going to allow you to take it more than once, and how far in between you have to wait or how many times maximum you're allowed to retake it. That varies by program. So before you try to take it again, or before you plan on taking it cold and then taking it again once you study, you definitely want to make sure that your institution will allow that. And then that brings me to another question, is someone asked me if they should just take it without studying and then start studying and taking it again. The test is expensive. I would not do that. I definitely don't recommend taking it cold at all. I know people do it. I know people on YouTube have recommended it. I would not do that. I think you should just study, do your best, take it, and if you want to take it again, but don't just not study and take it cold. I don't recommend doing that. It's a lot of money that you're just throwing down the drain, and I don't recommend. Somebody asked me about my scores, and I'll go ahead and reveal my scores. I did talk about this in my acceptance to nursing school video, which I will link all of my nursing school videos. I have a whole playlist. My acceptance video, I talked about the whole process in applying to the college. I also talked about my scores, my GPA, all of my stats. You can also check out my nursing school application Q&A, where I also talked about the TEAS, and I timestamped all of it, so you can check out just the TEAS section if you want to. And I have videos of every single nursing tour I went on, so you guys can check out my channel. My channel is a free resource to you. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video. It helps me out in the algorithm, and it'll help other people find my videos because I really want to reach as many people as I can, because I know that this is a very confusing process. If you go onto the ATI website, there are also a lot of resources that they use as far as study packages go. Those are very expensive, so I did not take advantage of any of those. I know some people really like to use those, but I personally would not pay $250 to study for this exam. However, they do have some practice tests on here, and I recommend doing practice tests. They're currently $80 though, and I would never spend $80 on a practice test because you can find practice tests at the end of a lot of the books. You can go through Amazon and find one for like 20 bucks, and you can also use free ones online. So I would not spend $80 unless you feel like you really need it. That's just my personal opinion. So the breakdown of my score was I scored a 92.0% overall on the ATI TEAS exam. The reading section was my lowest score, and I scored an 85.1%. The English and language usage was my next lowest score, and I scored an 87.5%. My science score was a 91.5%, and my math was 100%. And for reference, I guess, this is an exemplary score. Okay, so the definition of exemplary when you're taking the ATI TEAS exam is a 92 to 100%. Advanced is 80 to 91.3%. Proficient is 58.7 to 79.3%. Basic is 40.7% to 58%, and developmental is 0 to a 40%. I'm not sure what it means if you score in between those ranges, but that is what I'm reading right now. I scored exemplary exactly. A lot of my questions were about what kind of study guides I recommend, and I used one that my friend used, and she gave it to me to borrow, so I didn't get to like go through and pick one because I was going to use whatever was free and available to me. But I know that there's a lot of recommended ones online on Amazon, so if you click on my Amazon link down below, there's going to be some that are in the recommended, and people will give their own reviews. So if you're someone who learns more taking practice exams, then maybe you want to pick one that has a lot of practice tests. Maybe if you're better at just studying straight up or looking at charts, there's some that have nice like graphs and charts and stuff like that that you can look at. So it really depends on how you learn best. I recommend just clicking on the Amazon link and scrolling through until you find something that works best for you. But I definitely recommend a study guide. That was the best place for me to start. It let me know what all I needed to know, and then I was able to extend from the book and be like, okay, I really need to focus on biology. I'm not really learning well just reading it. I need to watch crash course videos. or the reading section, I'm getting some questions wrong, I'm a little confused on this topic, I'm gonna go watch some videos by Carolyn McAllister, or whatever it is that you're wanting to fill gaps on. I recommend starting with the book and then extending beyond there. But I hope this video helped. I know it's pretty short. I talked about my whole study plan in that other video, so definitely go check it out. Be sure to leave a big like on this video because it helps me out so much in the algorithm. It helps me grow my channel and it helps bring traffic to my channel. So please leave a comment, please leave a like, and please subscribe to my channel. And I hope that this helped answer your questions. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to comment them down below. I check my YouTube comments all the time and I will definitely respond to your questions, so I would love to help you. Please comment down below. And yeah, best of luck with your ATI TEAS exam. I know it's so stressful, but take a deep breath and do your best. And I know that you are destined to become a nurse one day. I know for me, I was so anxious about this test. I thought about it nonstop 24/7 and I was so nervous. And here I am. I got into nursing school. I am going to the UT medical branch, so I'm very excited. It was my dream school and I'm going, and it's just like amazing. So future Erica is telling past Erica, who made that old video and who took the TEAS exam, that she did great. I'm so thankful for all the efforts that I put into the exam, and it is so worth it. So just study, stay as motivated as you can. I know that these times are very challenging to stay motivated. I'm struggling myself with that, but just keep your head in the game. Go save the world, and best of luck to you. Thanks so much for watching. Also, leave some purple heart emojis if you watched this whole video, because I just want to see who watched the whole video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Take my hand and hold it tight. Look at the paintings, I'll be your guide. Don't stop looking in my eyes.